Radio Irish.
Hi, this is Bob Gallico. What's the connection between Waterville, County Kerry, Newfoundland, a fascinating new CD, and the Eurovision Song Contest? Well, starting with Waterville, that's where one Patrick Sullivan emigrated to Canada from in 1982. In 2006, Patrick visited Cape Spear in Newfoundland. A sunny afternoon, a warm sea breeze, and the vast blue expanse of the Atlantic Ocean evoked old feelings of growing up by the sea in Ireland. Patrick embodied those feelings in a poem called Cape Spear. When a friend, writer, performer, and award-winning record producer Derek Harrington read it, he thought he would like to set it to music. Later on, Derek would take several more pieces into the studio, and eventually a CD emerged. So there we are. What? Oh yes, the Eurovision Song Contest. Well, many of the vocals are provided by Derek's musically versatile brother Paul, and in 1994, Paul, with Charlie McGettigan, had a memorable win in that contest. All these elements, and more, coming together to create this very special CD. A few days ago, I spoke with Patrick Sullivan. How did you come to visit Cape Spear?
I was down in Cape Spear to do with work. I work in the security industry, and we were doing some work down there for a bank. And I took a trip out to Cape Spear with a friend of mine here in Toronto. And when I was going down there, Maggie was her name. She asked me if I'd look up a friend of hers, Jan, and if I needed, somebody to show me around, that she'd show me around. So anyway, she took me out to Cape Spear, and it was the first time I'd been out to that part of the world, which is very beautiful. And of course, Cape Spear is the most easterly point of the North American continent. So when you're standing on the cliffs there, it was a lovely, lovely summer's day, looking out across the ocean. Of course, it was very like being in Ireland.
Yes, because you're originally from Waterville in Kerry, and I imagine there are a lot of similarities between the two.
Very much so, yeah. The terrain is very similar, and it was almost like being in Ireland. And I think that kind of touched something in me.
Yes. I was thinking that standing on Cape Spear looking out to sea, on a clear day you might even see Waterville.
I'm almost sure I did see it, And then a cloud came on the horizon and obscured it. It was one of those days where you can see forever.
Mm-hmm. So on your return?
When I came back to Toronto, and I guess it was about a couple of months later, I suppose, I was sitting one night at the computer and I said, well, I'll write something about Cape Spear. And that was sort of the first draft of it. Now, Derek Harrington, who I met many years ago, and I've known him for quite a while, he came in the house one day here visiting, and I had the draft of Cape Spear up on the fridge, and every time I'd have a look at it, I'd say, well, maybe I'll change this or change that. Mm-hmm. He saw it, and he said, well, maybe we could make a song out of that. So anyway, he took it away with him, and about a week later, he phoned me back, and he said he had a melody, and that was how it started. Now, we got Cape Spear done, and he had a melody for it. But then our friend in Newfoundland, who happened to be in town, heard it and asked us the question, what happens if somebody likes this song? Where will they get it? Mm-hmm. Don't you have a CD? We said, no, we don't. So that got us thinking then and said, well, maybe we might be able to put a CD together. Now, I had other poems written about other things that turned out to be on the CD, and Derek put music to them as well. That was where the melodies came from. Now, Paul Harrington, Derek's brother, was over here visiting, and Derek convinced him to go down to the studio and record two of the songs, Cape Spear and Coffin Ship.
Yeah.
Which he did, and then later on, it would have been the following year, I guess maybe 6 months later, he came back and did some of the other songs. At that point, we had put melodies to them and so forth. And then Derek did a couple of the songs himself, like Global Warming and The Sealers. And then we took two traditional songs then from a CD that the Harrington Brothers had done before, Sally Gardens and Bunclody. Mm-hmm. Sally Gardens is sung by Robert. Robert has passed away.
That's right. Yeah.
So it was a way of remembering him as well.
Right. And that's how it all came to be.
That's how it all came to be. And then along the way, then, we would go to the studio occasionally and do a few songs, and then David Matheson and some of the other people came on board and helped out with it as well.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Patrick, and we look forward to giving our Radio Irish listeners a preview of the CD.
Great stuff, Bob. Thanks very much indeed for taking an interest and playing some of it for us. We really appreciate it.
On the cliffs of Cape Spear that rise dark and sheer, looking outwards across the great sea, by this eastern shore where the ocean birds soar, old feelings were stirred inside me. O'er the vast blue expanse I watched the waves dance, felt the warm wind blow soft on my face. I heard the gulls cry, heard the whale's lonesome sigh, in the quiet of this desolate place. Cape Spear, Cape Spear, I feel you so near. Softly you whisper to me, I hear your voice clear from that ancient frontier, calling me home to the sea. As the full rolling waves on the cliffs made their graves, washing the dark cliffs in white, rekindled in me was my love of the sea. How the ocean is my heart's delight. Oh, my soul felt at ease in the warm summer breeze, renewed by the power of the ocean. For it's there on Cape Spear I shed a glad tear. 'Twas a while since I felt that emotion. Cape Spear, Cape Spear, I feel you so near. Softly you whisper to me, I hear your voice clear from that ancient frontier, calling me home to the sea. And someday I'll return for a longer sojourn on your cliffs at the edge of the sea. And I'll feel once again just how I felt then, and be happy you beckoned to me. I will look o'er the sea and know that I'm free, and the wails once again I will hear. This time I'll be staying, no more I'll be straying. I'll finish my days on Cape Spear. Cape Spear, Cape Spear, I feel you so near. Softly you whisper to me, I hear your voice clear from that ancient frontier, calling me home to the sea, calling me home to the sea.
The title track of Cape Spear the CD, and it's available at Derek Harrington's website, www.derek, that's D-E-R-E-K, derekharrington.net. For Radio Irish, I'm Bob Gallico. Broadcasting 24/7 to the Irish community, RadioIrish.com.
There's only one.
Radio Irish.